Have you ever wondered what the real secret is to a garden that's just bursting with life? It's not just about the sunshine or the water. The real key, well, it's hidden right under our feet, in the soil itself.
So what is this invisible engine that's making all that growth happen? It's a great question, and you know what? The answer is probably a lot simpler than you think.
Yep, it all comes down to one single element: nitrogen. It's one of the most essential building blocks for healthy plants. So in this explainer, we're going to dig into exactly how it works, where it comes from, and how you can work with it to build a truly amazing garden.
All right, first things first, we need to understand this incredible process that's happening all the time, completely out of sight. It's called the nitrogen cycle, and really, it's the foundation of everything. Now here's the wild part. The air all around us, the air you and I are breathing right now, is about 78% nitrogen. So your plants are literally swimming in it. But, and this is a huge but, they can't use any of it. It's completely inaccessible to them in that form. It's kind of like being stranded in the middle of the ocean. There's water everywhere, but you can't drink a drop. So to solve this little problem, plants need help. They rely on some very small, very important friends. And these friends are the microscopic, unsung heroes of the garden: soil bacteria. These tiny little organisms are the bridge that makes it all possible. And the brilliant process they perform is the nitrogen cycle. You can think of it as nature's perfect recycling system. These soil bacteria take that unusable nitrogen from the air and they convert it into other forms, like ammonium and nitrate. And those are the forms plants can easily soak up through their roots. Think of it like a beautiful, continuous loop. It all starts when nitrogen from the air gets into the soil. That's when the bacteria get to work and do their conversion magic. Then, plants can absorb that usable nitrogen, and later, when those plants decompose, that nitrogen gets returned right back into the soil, and the whole cycle just starts all over again. It's an elegant, super efficient system that keeps our soil alive. Okay, but some plants have figured out how to take this to a whole other level. They don't just sit around waiting for nitrogen to become available, they actively help create it. They are, quite literally, nature's own little fertilizer factories.
This is just a fascinating adaptation, really. Instead of just being passive consumers, these plants form a powerful partnership with bacteria to pull nitrogen straight from the air and make the soil around them richer.
I bet you've seen this. If you've ever pulled up a bean plant or a pea plant at the end of the season, you might have noticed these little round bumps all over the roots, just like you see here. They might look a little strange, but what's happening inside them is nothing short of incredible. This amazing process is called nitrogen fixation. Inside each one of those little nodules, special bacteria are living and working, pulling nitrogen gas out of air pockets in the soil and converting it directly into plant food right on site. It's this beautiful partnership. The plant feeds the bacteria sugars, and in return, the bacteria give the plant a constant, fresh supply of nitrogen. The plants that can do this are mostly from the legume family. We're talking about common garden veggies like beans and peas, but also cover crops like clover and alfalfa. Planting any of these is a fantastic, all-natural way to load your garden soil with nitrogen for whatever you decide to plant next. Okay, so if nature has this incredible system all worked out, where does fertilizer fit into the picture? And this is a really crucial topic for every gardener, because how we add nitrogen can either help our soil or really, really harm it. So let's compare the two main ways to go about it. Synthetic fertilizers, well, they give a really fast, powerful jolt of nitrogen, and that can lead to super quick green growth. The problem is, they often bypass the soil's natural biology and can actually harm those helpful microbes. On the other hand, natural sources, they release their nitrogen slowly. They feed the entire soil ecosystem, and they build sustainable, long-term health. And here's the really critical takeaway. With synthetic nitrogen, more is not better. Overdoing it can literally burn your plant's roots, damage the soil structure, and all the excess nitrogen just washes away, polluting our waterways. Sure, you might get a quick burst of leafy growth, but it often comes at the cost of fruits and flowers and the overall health of the plant. So, this brings us to the most important part of all. What can we actually do to support this amazing natural cycle? How do we build what people call living soil? The whole philosophy is actually pretty simple. Instead of trying to control the soil with a bunch of chemical inputs, the goal is to feed the soil's ecosystem and then let that ecosystem do the work. It's a big shift from feeding the plant to feeding the soil that feeds the plant. And the methods are really straightforward. Using compost is number one. It's just full of organic matter and all those good microbes. Aged manure is another fantastic slow-release source of nitrogen. And just like we talked about, planting legumes as cover crops actively puts nitrogen back in the soil for the next season. Ultimately, it all comes down to this. If you focus on building your soil's nitrogen levels the natural way, you're not just adding one nutrient, you're supporting that entire invisible world of microbes. And believe me, when they thrive, your plants will absolutely reward you.
Understanding nitrogen really is the key to understanding your soil. So the real question is, now that you know how this incredible cycle works, what's one small step you can take to help those tiny invisible gardeners thrive in your own backyard?